Hello! Nothing like getting on those to-do lists as quickly as possible. And my to-do thing was to go and find videos that were promising or saying, hey, here are some ways to help you, I think it's stop mumbling and improve your voice. And yes, I went through them. I made a few notes. Well, I think I made more notes on the first one than I did on. Actually, I only made one note on the second one, which is actually a repetition of the first one. I skipped a bunch of videos, which are, I think they're business dudes or bro dude videos, which are all about how to talk confident, project yourself, speak only the truth bombs, which isn't really what I'm going for. I'm going for talking in a way that is more effective and that what am I going for? I want something where I'm more I have a pleasant speech pattern to me versus somebody who you just listen to for a little while. And I know it from listening to other people that don't have my voice. When you can step outside and you watch somebody else do something, it's like, I don't want to do that. I can, which is probably what the value of recording yourself and then playing it back. So you get a little bit of a step back. You're not just inside yourself. You're like, oh, here's a recording of me. I can notice things, and probably fooling myself that I can notice all the things because it's still very much myself I'm looking at. But I want to improve my speech patterns for just because I'm going to be on YouTube for a while doing this kind of crap. Let's try and improve how I do it as I go along, just year by year, decade by decade, however long YouTube is going to be around. So yes, let's start off with five steps, like, how to stop mumbling. And I think it's sort of five things to stop five suggestions, things to do for stop mumbling by Kat Elizabeth. And number one is warm up the muscles. And I think Kat Elizabeth seems to be coming from a acting background, doing a lot of acting classes and stuff like that. So she has a lot of good sort of technical ideas for suggestions on how to improve your articulation. It's interesting. She was talking about how she is somebody who, in her household, they had a lot of Asian students who would stay in their family. I think she's Australian, and she learned to speak in a very kind of clear, articulate fashion, so that someone who is English as a second language and they are just learning it, to be able to kind of distinguish the phonemes, the sounds of each word. And that was actually a positive thing for her growing up. And you can tell that with her speech right now, is she is talking in a way that clearly distinguishes each word. She's not a mumbler. So yeah, so here's her suggestions. Number one is warming up the muscles, and I've seen this on various videos. Hers was to yawn and hum at the same time. So, and then you will find yourself almost automatically yawning as you do it, which is I can totally see is like that's something that would just doing a natural yawn kind of relaxes those muscles and helps you get that articulation going, because the physical muscles in your jaw are loose, and it probably also relaxes you a bit because it's like, oh, I'm doing a speech. Oh my God, I'm so stressed. It's like, you're taking a breath in there as well. There's a psychological thing as well. So that was number one. Number two is probably why I glommed onto this video more than some of the other ones, was read books out loud and then listen back to yourself of how well you're doing the reading. So keep just daily read something out loud. She suggests going very simple books to start off with to more difficult texts. and that this was actually an actor exercise that she would do. That's how they would start off each class. Is you would bring in a text and you would read it out loud, and she found it interesting. You have all these confident actors who would stumble over their words and get kind of like having to read something out loud because it was something on the page versus speaking kind of from yourself. That's something that's like maybe a script that you've memorized that's within yourself. That it was a good exercise that way, and do that every day, and then make a point of also listening back to yourself and seeing like, oh, I'm getting sloppy here, I'm not articulating as clearly there, and try to improve it for the next time. So that was number 2, which I actually am reading stuff out loud. I don't listen to back to myself though. I guess I will have to try and make a point of doing that. Actually, it's a good thing to do right at the moment because I'm doing poetry. So A, it's short little passages, and B, you have to get every single word correct. You try and get every single word correct. And if you don't, you notice it more with poetry, especially the poetry I'm reading at the moment, Thomas Hardy. There's a lot of rhyming and things like that there, which if you mess it up, well, suddenly it doesn't work, or it doesn't make sense very quickly, because the words, especially with poetry, it seems like every word counts. And if you get the words wrong or you don't understand the words, it can mess up your speech. So that is number 2. Number 3 is to put a pen in your mouth. She said, oh, you laughed at me with the yawning, you're going to laugh at me with this. Is put a pen in your mouth and recite the alphabet. And this is so you're stopping your jaw from doing the work, and you're making your tongue do the work to articulate each letter of the alphabet. And you'll start off really, really sloppy, and as you work on it, your tongue will get more agile, and you'll get better at doing it. And okay, yeah, this is obviously then a total beginner doing it. So A, and you're holding the pen lightly in your mouth. You're not clenching your jaws and breaking your teeth or breaking the pen. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So that's pretty mumbly at the moment. So, but it's an interesting exercise. It's an interesting, you got to do your curls for bicep curls. Yeah, you have to do your bicep curls. I guess that's you doing your tongue curls every day. Number four is another tongue exercise, I guess, in a way, probably the whole mouth thing of doing tongue twisters, where, and she has a list of them in the video description. Maybe I will print them out. I don't know. I guess we'll see. It might be I've got my little list here of no ums and ahs up in the thing. Maybe I'll have another list, which is tongue twisters, and I'll just practice doing those each day. And so this is start off slow to get your proper articulation of the tongue twisters, like she sells seashells down by the seashore. She sells I'm gonna have to start off slow. She sells seashells down by the seashore, trying to articulate everything. And I guess it's all about the consonants. Vowels come quite easily, but consonants can be a lot more difficult to do. So you practice them slow, and then you speed it up. Maybe that would be worth doing, even just as like a part of the warm up routine of doing the yawn, doing the pen in the mouth, and do a couple of tongue twisters before I start yakking on the camera each day to do my reading out loud and all the other stuff. And number five is more of a conversational thing I think this is probably more of an idea for people who I find that they mumble in real life. And I'm getting my summons. They mumble in real life. Well, not real life, you know what I mean. Outside of this room where I film, people mumble, and that it's important. It's to slow down your speech, when you're talking to other people, to have thoughtful pauses when you're talking to somebody else, not just immediately. Can you not just I'm getting dinged and dinged, not just immediately rush on and quickly talk. It's like, no, actually listen and think about what they're saying, and then have a response. So you don't have to fill the space. There's this kind of comes down to the whole idea again of being comfortable with silence, and understanding that when you take a pause, especially, if you're speaking to an audience, or if you're speaking to a camera, it might feel like forever, but it's not going to feel that way to people listening, because they're actually processing what you've just said, and this gives them a chance to process what you said. In a conversation, you're leaving the conversation more open so that people can respond. Yeah. So those were 5 really good suggestions for how to stop mumbling, and how to speak articulately. Not about ums and ahs, but again, I think this is something that is another part of improving my speech. All right, I need to leave because I have been summoned, and yes, all right, I will leave it there. More videos later.